make sure it's recording over here. And away we go.
We ready right now.
Yeah.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, Internet, to Blame Your Brother. We are back once again, back in the building. We are doing a special episode on Wednesday this week instead of Thursday. We'll talk about why in just a little bit. But yes, we are here to talk about all the great things that are happening in the world. We have a list to unveil tonight, another Mount Rushmore we're going to throw your way. So there's lots of good things that are going to be happening tonight. And thank you so much if you're hanging out with us in the live chat tonight at blameyourbbrother.tv. Thank you guys so much for that, for always doing that. We appreciate all the blamers that hang out with us. And if not, you can come hang out with us at any point. So come do that. We are Blame Your Brother. I am David. I am one half of this duo. I am also known as D. Brew, Voice of People, Mr. 40%, Glenn Jackson, the Spiritual Midget. And I'm joined by this gentleman sitting to my left. It is John.
Hey everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman.
They do have madman.
Okay, he's a madman.
That's right. The resident madman is with us, David and John. Blame Your Brother. We're going to get through a lot today. So we're excited. Let's get it going. All right. So I will explain real quick why we are recording on Wednesday instead of Thursday. I know this disrupted everyone's lives and everyone's upset about it and they're crying. But tomorrow, my oldest son is a teenager. He turns 13 years old, which is, it's kind of mind-blowing.
Thoughts and prayers to the Burrington family.
Right. We're going to need them. We were talking about that announcement, you know, and I remember we were at band rehearsal in your basement working on what would become the future Tokyo Pop Stars. It was still like, it had many different names at that point. And my wife called me and said, I think I'm pregnant. And I was like, huh? And, you know, you're floored. And you're like, you know, if you're not ready for it, you're floored in those moments.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think my reaction was just like in shock, you know. So I'm like, you know, what do I need to do? And I think I stayed at practice. And I know. So anyway, he turns 13 tomorrow. So happy early birthday to him. Yes, I am the father of a teenager now. And that just, it constantly reminds you like, oh, I'm getting older. Like, you know, I'm about to be, how old are we this year? 44. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's the crazy thing when you're a certain age.
Oh, yeah, you're just like, oh, wait, how old am I?
Yeah, you're like, I'm a certain.
Carry the one.
I'm something. Like, I'm some age. Who knows what it is. But, yeah, so that's why we're recording tonight. So, you know, like I say, some people will be happy. Get the podcast a little bit early. Some people will not. So, all right. Well, let's get into it. It's been a week. Things have happened. And first off, is anything happening with you, John? Any significant moments?
Significant moments this week. Let me see.
Guessing no.
Probably not. My wife Robin is like between jobs.
Okay.
And so like she's been home this week.
So have you been sleeping? Because I was wondering about this.
I've been getting a little bit of sleep. And it's just, I mean, it's nice seeing her. Because, I mean, for those of you who don't know, I work nights and she works days. And ever since, you know, this worldwide butthole has been going on, my days off are just like up in the air.
Yeah.
And so I haven't had like a day off with her
in a long time. Right?
Since we went on vacation.
Whoa.
And so
now when was that?
That was August.
Oh wow.
Early August. So and so just like, you know, being in the house and seeing my wife is just really good for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously it's good for your relationship.
Yeah.
And it's good that you're getting sleep and you're probably feeling more refreshed and your brain's working a little bit better. So that's good. So but the job search, how does that work in the COVID era? I mean, is it just like all online, or do you know how? It's
a lot of Zoom calls, a lot more reliance on just the old-fashioned telephone. And she did go through a temp agency, and she was doing that from late October till a week and a half ago.
Okay.
And so, I mean, luckily, you know, I mean, this situation probably couldn't happen at a better time because, I mean, I'll be finished doing our taxes sometime next week.
Right.
And we just got that last stimulus thing in, so. I actually got a portion of my my mortgage chunked off, so that's good.
Okay.
So
there you go.
I mean, as far as just news this week, not much has happened. Just just enjoying my wife being home and waiting for. I mean, she's got some stuff lined up, so it's not gonna be long before she finds something. But
that's good. Well, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
Well, something did happen this past week. If you didn't know, this week, and I know people, I don't understand. This Groundhog's Day was this past week, right?
Yeah.
Why do people hate Punxsutawney Phil so much? I mean, this is a misunderstood rodent if there ever was one.
It's the idea that he can bring bad news.
Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard that.
That's the only because I mean if he didn't see a shadow, but we saw him. Good springs early, yay. But if he does see a shadow and he runs away and it's too cold or whatever, and we're gonna get more time, then he's the bad guy. Well, he's the one that's delivering the.
Oh, that's true.
The shoot the messenger kind of situation.
I mean, the meteorologists are upset. Like they are upset that I guess that this guy upstages them. It's like one day out of the year. This poor rodent, like, he did not ask for this life. Obviously, I mean, he's just kind of a prisoner. If one way to look at it, I mean, what if you were held up in a room somewhere? And we're told you're going to come out once a year to, I mean, I'm sure
to a crowd, no less.
To a crowd.
I mean, you're used to that's one thing. If you're used to just being around 1-2 people max,
right?
And then one day out of the year, bam,
right? And here's everyone. So in that aspect, it was a little bit different this year because it was a virtual session. So if you can see in the background art here, it's cardboard cutouts were in the crowd, which is, that's the way it is. I mean,
that's what they're doing at sports games,
right?
And stuff, so.
But it was done via Zoom, and he saw a shadow. So 6 more weeks of winter, which come on, 6 weeks of winter, 6 weeks of spring. In Nashville, does it really matter?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, in this city we're in, it doesn't matter. You could get spring one day, winter the next, and it flops back and forth. Like one day it's 50 degrees, the next day it's like 27 is the high. So, but I don't know, man. I just see a lot of hate for this guy on the internet from local meteorologists, from national media. Just give the rodent a break. I mean, he's probably living a good life. I mean, let's be honest. It's not like he's living a bad life, but I just feel like I understand what you're saying. People hate it because it's bad news. I also think people just, especially on social media, I know it's shocker. It's just cool to hate things, like it's just so cool just to hate things no matter what. Like you can find any good news stories and look in the comments and you will be able to find some negativity down the line.
I mean, even the bad ones, there's that one jerk that can go the extra mile and make it even worse.
And they do. My favorite game to play now on Facebook is I follow a lot of the local news people. So I follow Bob Mueller, and was a guest on the program. One of my favorites ever. Just brought it.
A great storyteller.
So good. And he's just, if you live in Nashville, you're familiar with Bob Mueller, the original anchor man, everything. But he'll post now he's posting news stories, right? He's posting actual news stories, not his stories, not his words. It's literally a link to Trump to leave office and Biden's coming in. So I looked at that story. I was like, all right, let's look at the Facebook comments. And oh my God, it was like a who's who of first comment. Bob, delete your account now. I'm like, what are you saying? Delete his account? This is not even reporting.
He didn't make this happen. He's not even praising it. He's just saying this happened.
Oh, it got worse down the rabbit hole. Bob, we expected better of you than this. I'm like, did you really? Like, it's literally a Washington Post link that he's sharing with you people. And you can do that for any Facebook. Sometimes if you're bored, it's just fun to just watch the rabbit hole, especially political posts. So all our friend Jeff, who's a right winger, called me this week, and he just said, "Well, Biden's doing it again." I go, "Doing what? What is he doing? He's literally been in office for like a week. What is he, or like a few? What's he doing?" He's like, "He's just doing stuff." And I went, "Oh, dude, I'm not."
His stuff.
He's like, "You see him sign all the executive orders?" I'm like, "Well, yeah. I mean, A, he has the privilege and the authority to do that. And B, I mean, most of America, I would think, agrees with some of the things he did, and some don't. You know, that's fine, whatever. But people are just they're ready, man. They got the anger cannon hooked up, and they're just ready to. And I know Twitter and Facebook kind of operate differently. Twitter, a lot of hate on there, a lot.
Yeah.
That's the snarky kids in school. Facebook is like the dumb jocks in school. You know, they're occasionally happy, but like you can see with like a Ken Bone, Chewbacca Mom, anybody, they're coming for your head. Like if you are viral, they're coming for you. They're doing deep dives, you know.
Oh.
And that's what's amazing sometimes when a viral story does happen, like the cranberry juice man. Never found anything on this guy, which is good, you know, hallelujah. But my God, man, leave Punxsutawney Phil alone for God's sake. He's just a rodent just coming out unaware of any of this stuff happening. He can't talk. He can't think. Some guy's grabbing him out of his hole, putting him up early in the morning. Give the guy a break. So anyways, 6 more weeks of winter is upon us. And upon us, Super Bowl. And we got to make our Super Bowl predictions. We got the Chiefs, young, up buck, Patrick Mahomes versus the GOAT, the old man, Tom Brady. John, who are you factually picking to win the game?
You're not going to like this.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. I mean,
I think the Chiefs are going to win.
like by a lot, a little, what? I know
think,
there's no basis. John knows nothing about sports analysis.
I think Mahomes going to do what he does, and there's going to be a comeback involved.
Okay, so it'll be close at least.
Yeah.
I mean, look, my mind is telling me to pick the Chiefs, right? I'm like, but then I think in sports sometimes we do ignore. Sometimes destiny is in the cards of sports, and it's crazy when it is. It is.
You're
like,
pulling the destiny card.
I mean, look at the Cubs, man. When they went that one year and beat the curse, it was like almost this happened. Tom Brady beats the Falcons. Like that was a crazy game. I think sometimes in life, certain things are meant to happen a certain way. And you got to look at Tom Brady leaves the Patriots. He goes to the Bucks, who stunk last year. They were no good. He takes his team, defying all odds along the way. I mean, ESPN's writing, this guy's done after week 2, which is every year they do that. But middle of the season, they're done. They're not even going to make the playoffs. Beats all the good teams to get into it. Beats Aaron Rodgers, MVP of the league. You know, beats all these teams to get there. I think somehow Tom Brady's going to win at the end like he always does. I just think, I'm like you, I think it's going to be close, but I think it's going to come down to like, I'm with you. I do think it's going to come down to a last drive. I really do, because most Super Bowls have as of late. I mean, it's really rare. There's occasionally ones where not, but I mean, look at most of them have been really close games.
Yeah.
So all right, well, I mean, if I was betting money, I'd probably pick the Chiefs. But then I'm reminded of a bet I made early in my life, and people are like, why are you a Tom Brady fan? I remember Tom Brady's rookie year when he started playing after Bledsoe got hurt. My brother, who used to be on the podcast, Lee, I called him up, and we would talk about football for whatever reason. I just said, man, this Tom Brady guy is the real deal. I'm telling you, man, this guy's the real deal. And he's like, whatever. And I'm like, no, I got this guy on fantasy, and he's it, man. And then our friend Sammy, who listens to the podcast, I'm pretty sure it was Sammy, we made a bet. And he bet on the Patriots. I bet on the Rams. I bet against Tom Brady, and I lost. And I said in my heart, I'll never bet against Tom Brady ever again. So I'm going with the Bucs to win. Come at me if he loses. I don't really care, but that's what I'm doing. So we said you watching maybe periodically. I mean, you might.
A little bit here and there.
Do you have to work that night?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to work that night, it's on.
Okay.
But
gotcha. Well, we'll see what happens. It's always fun. Now, we did have a notable death this week, seems to be the common theme around here. So I don't know how much of a Saved by the Bell fan you were.
Were?
Are?
No, not at all.
Were
as a kid? Yeah, that was my jam.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, Dustin Diamond, what a name. I mean, we're discrediting this dude's name is Dustin Diamond. That's
that's porn star level name right
is.
there.
I wish my name was David Diamond. That would be badass, dude. But anyway, he passed away at the same age as we are, 44 years old. Did you know he was that age?
I thought he was older.
No, he's born in 1977, same as us. I think he had a January birthday.
Oh, wow.
Or I don't know. I mean, he was born in 77, so he's either I believe the report's saying he was 44. And the stories I've heard about, he passed away of cancer, lung cancer, and apparently, now I heard this on another podcast, so I'm sure Michael Anthony will correct this as he did last week. Barry Bonds does have the all-time home run record. He let me know that. So
okay.
we kind of were hedging our bets on that. Let's be honest. We weren't like, but he got it just a couple weeks ago, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks ago. He thought it was like COVID related because it was a cough. He went in, stage 4, gone. So Screech was an interesting character in the pop culture landscape. He was on Saved by the Bell. So you didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
I watched it when it was on.
I never really watched it.
No.
I mean, I would occasionally watch. If it was on like a Saturday, I guess I would watch. But I did not religiously watch it. I was not a fan of it. I think we were just a little bit too old because I hear of people a little bit younger than us loved it so much that they're like, oh, they're doing the remake, man. Are you excited? I'm like, no, I never watched it. I mean, like people are like, what's her name? Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Oh, isn't she the hottest chick you've ever, went crush? I mean, not really. I didn't really have a crush on her because I feel like I passed that show. It's like when people talk about Power Rangers. I'm like, yeah, dude, nah, I kind of missed that. Like,
yeah, I think Power Rangers was way beyond.
A couple years after us because, I mean, yeah, probably. Yeah, but regardless, well, he was not invited to redo the show with the cast because he got into adult films. He was doing the boxing matches, which, I mean, they were all doing that, so I don't know how they're coming at him for that. But, and just had a bit of a reputation as being a bad boy. I mean, bad boy. I mean, not like he was like, drug.
He wasn't squeaky clean.
Right, but he wasn't like, Mr. Mafia Don or anything like that. But I guess when you're on a show like Saved by the Bell, you better be at least squeaky clean, when you think of like. But
what about Elizabeth
Berkley did
yeah.
Showgirls, and they're like, that's cool. And I'm like, really? I mean, that's not adult film, but my God, it's definitely pushing the boundaries.
Not far from it.
I don't know. So anyway, he passed away. That was the big death this week. And I guess it does stand out that he was like our age, which is crazy, man.
That's why I just felt like that was on while I was younger.
Right. I mean, I don't know.
I guess, I don't know.
I mean, when was that on? I mean, it was like in the 90s, right?
I thought it was like late 80s, early 90s, but that's not, I mean, if he was at our age, then...
All right, so we'll look it up, right? Now, Saved by the Bell, 1989 to 1993. So, all right, well, I guess so.
93, he had to be like the youngest one on the cast then.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think he was. Because, I mean, I think the other ones are, I don't know. Maybe they're all like our age. I mean, how old do you think Tiffany Amber Thiessen is? I mean, she can't be that much. I think they're all our age, man. Tiffany Amber Thiessen was born in 74.
Well, I mean, that's a whole 3 years difference.
3 years? I mean, what was the other guy's name? Mark Paul Gossier.
Mark Paul
Gossier. So he was probably born in, 74? Okay. So he was 3 years younger. So, and I guess they're all shocked. And, I mean, whatever you thought of the guy, I'm sure the people that were on the show look back and probably were like,
I mean, if we did do a Mount Rushmore of, television / movie nerds.
He's up there, right?
He'd have to be on there.
Maybe we might soon. From the chat, as I pulled it back up, Jeff should be a guest on your show. I don't know if we're ready for that. These are like 2 hour long conversations I'm having with him. Lisa May says, go Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Jeffrey says, Tom Brady will win. Robin, your wife, says, I just watched Super Bowl for the commercials. And then they were shocked that Mr. Dustin Diamond died. So that's a crazy story. But then what do you know about Armie Hammer, John? What do you know about this man?
I know he was in The worst television to movie remake ever.
Which one? That's a lot.
The Lone Ranger.
Oh, the Lone Ranger's pretty bad. Yeah. Okay,
Playing the title character. He played the man from Uncle. He was in that.
Is that good?
No.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I heard it was decent.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as.
It had a Superman in it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is
He
good
Henry
in it?
Cavill.
Is he
He
good in
plays
it?
the bad guy.
He's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna check out Man from Uncle because I don't know, man. It's why is it bad? Like it's just a bad story, or is
I wasn't interested enough to make it all the way through.
Okay, well, that's bad. Okay,
So-
well, I'm gonna check out Man from Uncle, but he was also probably his biggest role, I would say, or as far as most critically
the
acclaimed.
Facebook movie. Yeah.
Facebook
yeah.
movie, Social Network, fantastic. And then he
That
was
was a
also
good movie. Actually, I mean, he played the twins.
Right.
So
yes, and then he was in Call Me by Your Name or whatever, the movie that won a bunch of awards. Where now this movie is suspect to me, and I'm gonna have to find the exact title of it. But this movie featured him as an adult man who was having a gay relationship with a teenager. Now if this movie was so it is Call Me by Your Name. It was a 2017 movie. It was up for awards and things like that. And the summary is, it's the summer of 1983. This isn't even the bad part of it. It's the summer of 83, and precious 17-year-old Elio Perlman is spending the days with his family at the 17th century villa in Italy. He soon meets Oliver, a handsome doctoral student who's working as an intern, and they begin a relationship. All right, so he's 17, and this other dude's an adult.
yeah,
Isn't that a problem?
it should be. Yeah.
How's that not? If another movie was made and it was a dude with a 17-year-old girl, there would be like outrage about
Oh
it.
yeah.
Whatever. I mean, whatever, dude. Okay. He's made the news this week. I'm just going to read you the story as it kind of comes across the screen here. All right. He was going to be in a movie with Jennifer Lopez, okay? I don't know what it's called. It's some stupid rom-com or something. Armie Hammer found himself at the center of a controversy last month that began on social media involving claims that he allegedly shared graphic sex fantasies involving cannibalism with women. Late January 10th, the 34-year-old actor began trending on Twitter, which is never good, after an anonymous Instagram account named House of Effie, what a name, shared. I love that about news stories now. It's just like, Twitter user Box415. You're like, all right, man, like this is kind of wild. Shared a series of screenshots showing explicit messages alleged to have been sent from the actor's Instagram account to women. The messages, which have not been verified, allegedly showed Hammer calling an uninvited woman his slave and discussing BDSM acts, which, I mean, whatever. In one message, he appears to admit to being 100% a cannibal. In another, he allegedly discusses cutting off a woman's toe and keeping it with him in his pocket. Another woman also shared photographs of a scar of the letter A. She said Hammer cut into her body just above her groin area with a knife. His behavior definitely was cult-like and painful. Hammer,
Was he like the new Nexium here?
this is some weird stuff, right? She claimed Hammer was serious about eating her ribs. I think he really has a desire to become a cannibal. Now, there's also, so Hammer made the news this week, and Marilyn Manson made the news. Evan Rachel Wood, who he dated for some period of time.
They were never married.
Maybe, I don't know, but maybe they were married.
I'm thinking of Rose McGowan.
They were in a relationship.
Yeah.
She claims he mentally took advantage of her, physically took advantage of her, like sexually assaulted her. So he's been dropped by his label. A string of women have come forward and said, it's just not like one person that said this, but so what do you think? Let's just look at Armie Hammer. Forget about Marilyn Manson. Okay. Has he done anything wrong that he should be let go from a movie based on what we've read right there?
I mean, technically no, because there's not even proof that was him, first of all.
Well,
And
yeah,
second
right.
of all, I mean, it's just things that he said.
So, yeah,
And
our fantasies, I mean, I can understand if they were pedophilia fantasies. I can
Yeah.
see that. I'd be like, yeah, you got to act like you're an 8-year-old child. Even then, though, I mean, is that enough claim to drop someone from a movie? I mean, that is a fantasy. I think we're all aware that there's pedophiles in America, probably more than ever
Oh, I'm sure there's.
move forward, right?
Yeah.
And the social contract is, I mean, no pictures, no acting out, nothing, no talking about it, no discussing it. I guess when you get in a relationship with these women, I mean, they're starting to share things. And this is not like a fling. These are like women he was in relationships with, as with Marilyn Manson. If Marilyn Manson was raping these women, then yes, you have to come forward on that. But I feel there's that fine line, man, of like, well, he was he was emotionally abusive. I mean, I'm not discrediting that as bad. Like, that is a bad situation to be in. But at some point, like, I mean, you can walk out of that relationship, right? Yeah. I mean, now if he's beating the hell out of you and he's raping you and all that, then yeah, that's like criminal charges need to be pressed and he needs to be outed. I feel like, I don't know, man. I just feel if he has cannibal fantasies and I mean, obviously the dude's not walking around eating people. Yeah. I mean, or maybe, I don't know, that we know about. It's never been proven that he's doing this. I don't know, man. I just feel like we are just very... I know this is a conversation we kind of have. We're getting a little bit holier than now, man. Like, if everyone's search history comes out with their fantasies, we're all going to be in a little bit of trouble. Yeah. We're all going to be like, I'm ducking out, dude. I'm being anonymous for the rest of my life. That's everyone that's ever lived. Yeah. Like, even the most vanilla of fantasies, like, to hear those read out loud, you'd be like, whoa, like, hold on a second, brother. Like, what's going on here? Is it weird? Yes. Am I going to be thinking of that when I see his movies moving forward? Yes. Does it open the opportunity to play maybe Jeffrey Dahmer? Yes. I mean, you got to look at the positive side. Are there cannibal movies out there? And maybe Armie Hammer's a guy. Where does it end? Where does it end? Like, Marilyn Manson has been accused of all this. From all accounts, it's true. I mean, many people come out and said, yes, this dude is a bad guy. I think we know he's done these things. But I'd come back to this. I mean, we're just crucifying these people without any proof whatsoever. Like,
I mean, pretty much.
I understand if 35 women come forth with like a Trump, I mean, nothing really happened to that guy. I mean, if 35 women come forward, I don't know why 35 women would all collectively lie on a dude. I mean, I guess I could see why society hates the guy, but I don't know, man. This is some weird. This has been like a top story I found it on Fox News, who they love to run like these salacious stories. But I don't know, man. If we were producing a film, let's look at it like this: we're putting our money forth for this film, and we start seeing all these stories. Like, bro, you seeing these stories about this guy? Do you think we, at that point, if we were producing it, it was our money, you think it'd be like, man, we need to get someone else to be in this movie?
Probably, because we don't. I mean, for us. It'd be a one-shot deal.
I know. So, okay. I mean, so at that point, does that make it right? I mean, it almost kind of does. That's the free market we're in. Like, yes, you're allowed to say whatever you want to say. Like, it's the whole thing of what the Trump people are saying. Like, you're blocking us from Parler. You're blocking us from this. Well, I'm not blocking you from anything. A private company is saying, we don't want you on this board saying these crazy things. Didn't the Republicans applaud the cake maker who wouldn't make the gay wedding cake? I mean, doesn't it work both ways? Yeah. So I don't know. It's a weird story, man. I don't know. Like, I feel that's why a lot of people get in relationships with people and they're never going to, if they had these fantasies, they're never going to tell anybody. And that's why I think a lot of guys end up getting side chicks or prostitutes or things like that, because you feel you're not being judged with these women. Like, you can tell them whatever. And I feel that's like a continual trap of people like, why do men pay for sex? Well, probably where they won't be judged, dude. I mean. There
was a joke on your favorite show, Big Bang Theory.
Oh, boy. Let's hear it.
Where one of them was, they had a book of, like, ideas that they were going to, like, creations or whatever, things that they were going to invent.
Okay.
And on one page it said robot girlfriend. And then on the very next page, it said robot prostitute. And I'm like, God. Why do you need a robot prostitute if you already have a robot girlfriend? And he says, there's just some things you don't do with your robot girlfriend.
There you go. Very good.
So there you go.
Well, Robin says cannibal issues need therapy. Do you think there's some truth to that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if in your mind that excites you on a sexual level, you think that person might need to go to therapy?
If the person has a taste for human flesh or thinks that they want it
in
and
their
it's-
mind. I mean,
I think there
Okay.
might be something that needs to.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean, you're right. Maybe you do need to go talk to someone. The guy's going to be in. If Mel Gibson can come back saying the things he said about Jewish people, then I'm sure Armie Hammer can come back. And this guy was supposed to be like Batman at one point. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I think there's a real easy way. He needs to just play a Shaggy. It wasn't me.
I mean, yeah, I guess at some point you can keep doing that, but I mean, the public wants to kind of decide what they've decided. It doesn't matter what you say. You know that.
I know that.
O.J.
But
Simpson,
the thing is
okay.
like these are Twitter. The thing is you can come out with the real Armie Hammer Twitter handle tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could.
And so he could that wasn't me.
He could, but the difference is these aren't anonymous. These are women that we know were in relationships with them that are saying these things happen. I mean, that's the difference. This isn't basketball players hooking up with a chick on the side and then they're like expose them in the DMs. These are women that were literally with this guy. One has a scar on her body, which why in the hell would you let someone do that? I mean, I know you.
I mean, the thing is that's what you're saying. That's another thing. If you let him do that, then I'm not saying it's a 50-50 blame here, but I'm saying it's more than 20-80. You know what I'm saying?
I know love's crazy. It's a powerful drug. When you're first in love with someone, first in that relationship, you're willing to do anything. I mean, that's why Romeo and Juliet, it's almost a caution tale of don't do everything you feel you should do when you first meet someone. You will end up dead. So I would advise people, don't let people mark on your body when you first meet them. This is like something that should happen. If you want to get the stupid tattoo after being together 10 years, do what you got to do, man. But come on.
What he needs to do is
here's
find a
a
girl.
Dear John. Dear John,
Yeah,
what does he
John,
need to do? Go
you
ahead.
need to find a girl and just be like 100% normal with her. Make sure that it's like totally, and then just like find a reason to break up legit, and just be like, hey, these chicks are crazy. I don't know why they got together and did this, because ask her. That's not me.
John solves it all in this one. So
Bada boom,
that's your
bada
Dear
bing.
John. Find a girl and be vanilla as possible with her. There you go. That's Dear John. Okay. All right. Well, let's real quick. New WandaVision's out, and I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to spoil it because people are catching up on it. But just initial thoughts. What did you think of the newest episode, episode 4?
Okay, my initial up to episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
My rank was 3 3/4 stars.
Okay.
Let's jump to 4 1/4.
Okay.
Because we went full comic book on this
I
one,
figured.
and that's my wheelhouse, and I'm digging it.
Okay. So you like it now that it's. See,
I always liked it,
that's
but it wasn't what.
Which I was a little bit of foreplay, man. They were setting up the scene.
Oh no,
for
no!
you,
That's what I'm saying. As a series.
Okay, I'm gonna go the opposite of you. I love it. I don't know. I love just the surreal nature of the first 3 episodes, and the guessing game was fun to guess. Obviously everyone watched it and knew something was up, but I thought that was kind of the fun. But yeah, they've got to get this show moving. I don't know how many episodes it is, but you can't do this forever. Now they're still going to continue to go through sitcom eras and things like that, and I think we get a clear understanding of what's happening now. But there's still the actress that plays Wanda. Can't think of her name.
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes, Elizabeth Olsen announced that there's going to be a cameo on par with The Mandalorian this season. Now, I don't know what that means. I mean, to me, I don't want to spoil Mandalorian, so I'm not going to say who that was on that show, but there was a big cameo on The Mandalorian. And if you're on the internet, I don't know how you don't know who it is, but there was a big cameo on Mandalorian, huge.
Yeah.
I don't even know who it could be on WandaVision. Are they talking Tony Stark? I mean, I don't know. I mean, who else could it be? It has to be Tony Stark. Who is the biggest MCU star? It's Tony Stark, right?
I mean, that or Nick. But I mean.
Nick who?
Nick Fury.
Oh, he's not a star, man. The stars are Captain America and Iron Man. Unless it's Captain America. I'm just trying to think who would make sense. I mean, we know, without any spoilers, the Vision died in the Avengers Endgame. Okay, know that happened. That's factual. We know it. So even if you watch a show, you got to know something's up, man. You're like, all right, what? Maybe I missed a story. Maybe they're gonna. I'm thinking, maybe Tony Stark, a little back from the dead action. I don't know.
They also were setting up. They started setting up Sword. And at the end of Spider-Man: Far From Home, with Nick Fury. In space.
I don't think Nick Fury's that interesting, man. I don't think that's a big enough drop. There were some familiar faces on episode 4. If you haven't seen it, good episode. I liked it. I'm continuing to see where this goes.
Oh, I think I know who it is.
Who?
Quicksilver.
Could be. Once again, if you know The Mandalorian was huge. I mean, it was a star of the Star Wars universe.
I know who it is.
Okay. I just think it has to be Tony Stark, or it has to be Captain America. What if it's Magneto? That'd be kind of dope. But anyway, well, we'll see what happens.
What if it was Quicksilver from the other universe?
Oh,
the Evan Peters instead of the.
Hopefully. And I love the other actor that played him in Age of Ultron.
For what they were trying to do.
Yeah, but
he did a good job. But that's the guy from Kick-Ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love him. I think he's great. He's in Tenet as well. He's really good in that. But we'll see. I mean, that's the fun part about it. So if you're not watching WandaVision, get your butt to watching it, because it's a freaking great show, man. It's really good. That's what I got to say about that. Go watch it. Get the Disney Plus and watch it. Join us. Let us know what you think the theories are going to be. All right. I don't want to give away too much, because like I said, I know some people are, it said there should be 10 episodes in the first season, so we're almost halfway through. So they obviously got to get the story moving. So, all right, well, we have a list tonight. Now, John's going to explain our Mount Rushmore tonight, because he is pretty much responsible for picking the list, and he always has an idea. So last week I
tried to tie it into what's going on.
So catchphrases was why.
Catchphrases last week was because, Trump was out of office.
Mm-hmm.
He was on a TV show that had a catchphrase.
Mm-hmm.
That catchphrase happened to be, "You're fired." And, well, I mean, essentially America fired him. And so he was living up to his catchphrase. So that's why last week we did TV catchphrases.
Okay.
This week, in the news, we got a lot of, I saw on several different news outlets, Biden was actually reaching out to different members of the GOP for advice on different things. And so I thought a good Mount Rushmore for this week would be greatest musical collaborations.
Okay. And what were your stipulations for this?
I thought they should be people of very differing natures or differing genres. People that on paper you'd be like, what?
Right.
And so that's kind of what I was going for.
Okay. And there's some good ones out there. Yeah. So we and John, like it says, we do every week, we're going to do the Mount Rushmore. So we're going to list the most definitive collaborations of all time. And this is going to be interesting because we texted a little bit about it. And so you said initially you didn't know if you want to do duets. Now, what is your definition of a duet would probably be my first question.
A duet is two people singing a song together.
Okay.
But I wanted to pull that back a little bit because I just didn't want to be like, Jennifer Warnes and Bill Knightley doing.
I've had the time
of my life, because they're both. I mean first of all, when it's in the '80s, if there's a song with another person, Jennifer Warnes was involved.
Right.
But just people who came from like different backgrounds.
Okay.
If you were going to go that route.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay, so I believe I went first last week, so that would mean that you get to go first this week.
Okay.
All right, so
my number one pick, I went for High Energy. This is a type of song where you would want to start or end a show with.
Okay, it's interesting.
And so I went with, this song probably saved one of this group's.
Okay, I think
career.
I know who you go with. Go
and
ahead.
It's Aerosmith and Run DMC.
Okay.
Walk This Way.
All right. I definitely was not in my top 4, but definitely worthy of a list. Now, What do you love about this, man?
The high energy of it, and again, it's at that time. I mean, the original "Walk This Way" song came out late '70s.
Yeah.
And then, mid to late '80s, all of a sudden, rap's starting to become a thing, and then. The beginning of the video, they're like playing around, and then Run DMC is like, quiet down. And I mean, you'd think it'd be the other way around.
Right, yeah.
And so it's just and then they were like, well, you know what? We'll just use it. And then they just go into it, and it's the back and forth, the flow of the rap.
No, it's
going
good,
with the music. It's
good
just
song, man. It's
you
good
can't. I mean, you can't just be like, oh, this.
Right.
You can't not move your body somewhat.
Right.
Whether it's just bouncing your head or tapping your foot, you got to move.
Okay.
When you hear that song.
All right. Good choice. All right. My number one is going to be two of the greatest artists of all time teaming together to perform one of the greatest songs of all time. And if I'd been around in the 70s, this probably would have been I may have lost my mind. But I'm going with Queen, David Bowie, Under Pressure. I mean,
it's on my list.
I love David Bowie. I think everything he touched was pretty much golden.
There's a few choices you could have for David Bowie.
Oh, he might come up again. He's done more than one,
yeah.
So he might be on the list again. We'll see. I can't guarantee that. It just depends on how the cards fall. But this song is just pure perfection. Yeah. I mean, Freddie Mercury is. I mean, he's probably the greatest vocalist.
He's up there.
I mean, he's got to be. I mean, I don't know who you'd put above him, but he's definitely in the top 3 of all time. The range he had, Queen, just that group.
I mean, we could do a Mount Rushmore of male vocalists, and he'd definitely be on there.
He's my number one for 100%. I don't know. I listen to a lot of music. John listens to a lot of music. I don't know of anyone that could do the different things.
He'd be my number 2 or number 3.
Well, who would be your number 1?
Either Elvis Presley. Or, I love Elvis.
I mean, I love Elvis, bro, but he ain't nowhere near David.
Or Steve Perry.
Mercury, definitely number 1 because of you listen to Queen album, you're getting everything. You listen to Night at the Opera, there's and the great thing about Queen is they were all singing too. You have the greatest singer in the world at the time. And he's not even singing on all the tracks. You're like, yo, Brian May, you got one, sing it. Hey, drummer.
Sing the song about your car.
That's a drummer. Go ahead, brother, which is a dope song. That's a really good song on the album. But, yes, I love Bowie Queen. I love this song. Everyone knows it. It's one of the greatest songs, in rock and roll.
And would Vanilla Ice have a career for this song?
So he owes them that.
Yeah.
As much as Aerosmith and Run DMC helped nu metal and rap rock become a thing, this song helped Vanilla Ice enter into our atmosphere.
Oh wait.
Yes, so maybe we should both.
Maybe
we should take both these off our list. We can't control what comes out of greatness. Okay, all right. So you're up to your number 2, John.
My number 2. Shout out to my wife.
Okay.
This is the collaboration of collaborations.
Okay, this ought to be good.
I thought you'd know what it was. Just me on saying that. I mean, it came from the hearts and minds of just 2 people, but it swelled. I mean, if you name an artist that was big in the 80s, they were probably involved with this. And this is...
Oh, my God. John,
the USA for Africa.
This is
We
bad.
Are the World.
Oh, that's like 100 people.
I know.
I'm just going to put We Are the World, everyone. That's going to be, when I put the graphic out, I'm just going to put everyone, We Are the World. Name some artists. It would be better. Yes,
Everyone.
It would just be better than who wasn't on this stupid track.
That's what I'm saying.
You're saying this is a good song.
I'm saying.
Here's the difference between mine and your list. Mine are all songs I liked. Now I'm not saying. I guess I'm not gonna say they're all great songs because I have a spot that's not good, but I love it. You love that song.
I wouldn't say I love that
no,
song.
I mean, do you like that song?
I'm saying if it came on the radio,
this is bad.
I wouldn't change it.
Okay. It is the textbook of collaboration for sure. I want to know who was behind. I've listened.
It's behind. It was Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones that was behind it.
Wrote it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I've heard things about it, and okay.
I mean, you got Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, Tina Turner.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, just name who wasn't in it at the time.
Kenny Rogers. I mean, yeah.
I think there was even like some punk rock, wasn't? I don't know. Anyway,
The Ramones.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Well, number 2 is going to be rough, but I'm going to have to go with, it's a travesty that we live in Tennessee, and I don't think this person has ever made a Mount Rushmore so far. I don't know that we've had one for her to be on. But when you think of one of the greatest songs ever that defined a genre at the time, that transcended, that is one of the greatest songs, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Islands in the Sun.
Stream.
Islands in the Stream. Yeah, Islands in the Sun.
We were talking about Weezer before the show.
We were.
So
Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, I mean, that kind of set off a whole chain reaction for these two to work together. That song is...
It's a great song, penned by, was it Andy Gibb that wrote it?
Okay, wow. So then that's actually almost another collaboration on top of that. But I just feel this was the perfect, at the time, I didn't really listen to much country. I was a child, but even I like that song. Like, Islands in the Stream. I mean, it's just a great song. I think it's a great collaboration, especially someone, I mean, Kenny Rogers really, I mean, I know the man passed away, but he really owed Dolly Parton, like, royalty checks for the rest of his life. I mean, I know he may have been all right, and he had to gamble and all that shit, but Dolly Parton brought him up to her level with this song. That's why I think it's just, I guess it's a duet, you know, so, but we allow duets, and I think it's just perfect for
If we were doing a soul duets list, it'd definitely be on mine.
All right, so that's my number 2.
Okay. My number 3.
Uh-oh, here we
consult
go.
my list here. Okay. This one is, I'd say it's probably not very well known by a lot of people.
Okay, that's a good
but
sign.
I really love this song. I mean, on paper, you would think these people would not work together.
Okay.
I had to go with Loretta Lynn and Jack White.
Oh, okay.
Portland, Oregon.
Oh, that's
I just love that song.
It's a good song. Okay, that's outside the box, John. I never thought. I mean, I love that album. I think it's fantastic. You know?
Yeah, the whole album's great, but I mean,
I love Jack White.
Yeah.
Even if he's a bit of a weirdo, his music, White Stripes, were like one of my favorite bands.
But I mean, if you were to listen to Coal Miner's Daughter, and then the next song was Seven Nation Army, you'd be like, and then someone told you that those two put out an album together, you'd be like, okay, let me have some what you're smoking. But
it turns out Jack White was a fan.
And the trouble of his voice during that song, it's not all of his songs, but the way he sings with her on that song, it's almost hard to tell where his voice ends and hers begins.
No, it's just fantastic.
And it's an amazing song. I encourage anyone who hasn't heard it to listen to it. It's a great song.
If people haven't heard it, you need to go check it out. It's just a great collaboration. Brought Loretta Lynn back into the spotlight, which I think
she deserved.
I think that's what he was trying to do, and I think that's what he likes to do with a lot of artists. I think he likes to find these artists that people are kind of like, I don't know,
underappreciated.
Yeah, and I mean, he gave Conan O'Brien an entire album, which I own, which like that's crazy. When Conan O'Brien was going through all that trouble with the late show, he's like, come to Third Man Records, make an album. So Jack White, I do love him, and he's a one for the ages.
I mean, I would say he's like the Tim Burton of music, just because he just seems out there.
But his music's actually good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, man. How do you not list one of the greatest collaborations of all time? I mean, the argument would be that this guy was pretty much just collaborations later in his career. But man, how do you not talk about smooth Rob Thomas, Santana? Is it one of the greatest? When did this song come out? Like 2000?
Oh gosh,
so early 2000s, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's one of the greatest songs of the.
It's a great song.
I mean, come on, dude. I mean, you've got on paper, once again, almost like you say.
I mean, he came out of nowhere.
You got Rob Thomas, who is in a group that a lot of people hate. I mean, people hate Matchbox 20 for whatever reason. I don't really know why. I mean, I could see people being apathetic toward them, but hating them. I don't get it, man. It's like it's AOR. It's adult-oriented rock, and I like it. I have a soft spot for it. I mean, we've seen him in concert. We're going to go back and see him again. But this song is just about a perfect song. Like we talk about perfect movies. I think this is a perfect song.
It's a great song.
I think the hook's great. The guitar is great. Everything's great about it.
And I've heard that Santana was talking to Rob Thomas after, because like Rob Thomas like hit it in like one take.
Really?
And Santana was like, "How are you singing that way? Because you wouldn't be able to sing that song like that unless you were with a Mexican woman.
And he was?
And his wife is.
What? Is that real?
That's what he told me. He's like, well, my wife's Hispanic. He's like, all right, well, there you go.
Santana's he's a strange dude that I don't know much about. Like I don't know much about him.
I mean, he doesn't sing, but his whole band, even from the 70s, it was named after him.
Right. Which is weird.
I mean, between that and at least in Van Halen, there was more than one Van Halen in the band.
Some noodlers do it, like Joe Satriani or people like that. But it's rare that, and he's not really a noodler though. I mean, he's a great guitar player, but he actually plays. Like Joe Satriani, if you know, he just like that. Yeah. But like Santana's actually like a soulful player. Like it. Yeah. You can listen to Smooth and go, and that album. You can say what you want. There's some bangers on that freaking album, dude. It is a good Now, this next album it came out, not so much. Yeah. But he had one with Michelle Branch. He had one with, like, hip-hop people. Yeah. It's Maria.
Romeo.
Yeah, so
Romeo.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's my number 3. All right, John,
song.
Your last one now. Don't take my last one, man.
I'm not going to take it. I am going to probably catch some hell for it, though.
Oh, no. That's a good way to start your number 4.
I'm
gonna catch some help.
I may change it.
Just go with it. What are you scared of? You scared of these people? You scared of these people?
Well, I'm scared of you. You're the one who's gonna give me.
What's the worst I'm gonna do?
I'm gonna push that back. I'll put that.
No, I know that's weak, bro. That's weak.
All right. I'll go with it.
How bad do you think it's gonna be?
You are gonna roast me for this one.
Unless you say, I don't even want to say because now I'm starting to think of things it could be, but. Unless you say like William Hung and like like the old dirty bastard or something. I mean, is it Kid Rock or something?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it's worse than that.
Bone Thugs and Harmony and Phil Collins. Take Me
God.
Home.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty.
I love the song.
Okay,
man.
wait. So I hate Bone Thugs and Harmony.
I know you do.
That's the only reason I'm giving you crap. I think any hip hop and pop stuff, I think it's very interesting. I do. I didn't put Lil Nas X and Billy Ray on there, but that's
an honorable mention.
That's a fine, good collaboration. So I'm not gonna knock. I don't like Bone Thugs, but I like Phil Collins. So they got together and did this song.
Yes.
Is there a story behind it?
He's in the video.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's playing or singing?
Singing.
Okay. I know a lot of hip hop artists love Phil Collins for whatever reason.
Oh, Ice-T. Like they interviewed him and like, who's your favorite non-rap album? And without missing a beat, he said Phil Collins. And the person interviewing him started laughing. He's like, no, don't laugh at that. You listen to him for real, and come back to me again, and you won't be laughing.
Really?
He was talking about Phil Collins like he was a straight up.
Wow, like a G. Huh?
Yeah. And
yeah,
so,
I've heard people say like the drum beat and In the Air Tonight, like a lot of rappers like, dude, that's one of the dopest beats that we've ever heard. I'm like, all right, go Phil. I mean, I grew up, if anybody listened to the podcast I did on Cobras and Fire, I did mention being a VH1 fan, and I was a huge Phil Collins fan. I mentioned that on the thing. Genesis was like my jam. Not Peter Gabriel. As I've gotten older, I'm like, oh, that's probably the better version of Genesis. But the Genesis I like is I Can't Dance, and then just Phil Collins. Something Happened on the Way to Heaven, Sister Studio, all that stuff. All right. Bone Thugs Harmony, Phil Collins. Well, okay. I may have one that may take you. Now, I don't know what the year is. I know it's probably 1988, 1989, if I'm just guessing, because I'm thinking of how old I was. I was in love with this person. Like, I literally thought in my mind, I would calculate out, we're not that far apart in age. When I get a little bit older, I can get some fame in my life. I don't know doing what, because I had no ambitions to be famous. I said, I'm going to marry this woman. I am. I'm going to marry this woman. And we're going to fall in love, and we're going to play this song all the time.
I'm struggling.
We might perform this song at our wedding. You ever heard of a little Paula Abdul and the Wild Pair? Opposites attract, bro.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Scat the Cat.
Scat the Cat, which is actually the actual group or artist is called Wild Pair. Not people know, but to most of us, it is definitely
Scat the Cat. If you saw the video.
Come on, dude.
Two steps forward, 2 steps back.
I'm going to argue that's a badass song.
It's a catchy song.
I think it's great.
I mean, you can't listen to 4 bars of that song and not you're
Right.
stuck with it that day.
And then, I was just fascinated, infatuated with Paula Abdul because she was on VH1 all the time. I'd watch all those videos and just go, I think that's the most beautiful woman in the world.
She started out as a Laker girl.
Right. Okay, so you can see.
Yeah.
And then she went on American Idol, and I went, ugh. Yeah, okay. I think she has a very, when I think of Britney Spears and her have that same kind of energy.
I can see that.
There's something to them. There's like that energy, that vibe or something. It's like in the face. I don't know. And it's a shame about Britney Spears still being under conservatorship. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But anyways, yes, I love that song now. I loved it then. I will love it in the future. And I think you take an artist and a cartoon cat, what better collaboration can you get, man? That's it. So let me run down our official list. John had Aerosmith, Run DMC, Walk This Way, We Are the World, which features everyone. Loretta Lynn, Jack White, Portland, Oregon. That gets you some hipster cred right there. And Bone Thugs and Harmony, Phil Collins.
Which throws all that hipster cred.
I don't know.
Right
That might get you more hipster cred. I had Bowie and Queen, Under Pressure, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Islands in the Stream, Rob Thomas, Santana, Smooth, and Paula Abdul, Wild Pair, Opposites Attract. So I will go what I missed and you can follow up. I had also Tom Petty, Stevie Nicks. Love that song, Stop Dragging My Heart Around. Yeah. Elton John, George Michael, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Oh, man. That's an all-timer. But
yeah.
Lil Nas
I forgot
X,
all about that one.
Lil Nas X, Billy Ray, and then Bowie and Jagger, Dancing in the Streets. What was on your list we didn't get to?
Let's see. We have Mariah Carey, Boyz II Men, One Sweet Day.
Okay. It's not a fan of that song, but I definitely.
P. Diddy, Faith Evans, and Sting, I'll Be Missing You.
Okay. I'm not a fan of that song, but it is.
I'm not either, but I felt it beared mentioning. This song I really like. If I just don't know what to listen to, I'll throw this song on, and it's Paul McCartney, Rihanna, and Kanye, 4 or 5 seconds.
That's a good one. I've come to love that song, man.
If I don't know if I want to hear something, but I don't know what it is, I'll throw that one on.
Now look at the screen. You don't have these 2 dudes up there.
That's
McCartney. Okay.
They did 2 songs together.
Yeah, I know which one is
they
the
did
better one.
Say.
Okay.
The other one, for those who don't know, is The Girl Is Mine.
Which we're talking about Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, if you don't know.
Also, speaking of Paul McCartney, with him and Stevie Wonder, Ebony and Ivory.
That's a very famous one. It's got
that was.
I don't know if you get away with that song today. I really don't. Because you had Nelly and Tim McGraw, and that song got trounced.
All in my head.
Yeah.
Which I mentioned on my. Let's see. And in the spirit of We Are the World, we also had Band-Aid. Do They Know It's Christmas?
I like that song Christmas, but it's not a very good song.
Yeah.
Right?
Speaking of Christmas and David Bowie, him and Bing Crosby with
that's a good
Little
one.
Drummer Boy / Peace on Earth.
That's a good one.
And Lil Wayne and Weezer, Can't Stop Partying.
I've been listening to Weezer lately. They put out a new album this past week, and
I'm scared whenever I hear that phrase now.
It's good. It's not bad, but it's not very memorable. But I will go back and listen. I enjoyed the vibe. It's very more laid back songs. And then I start listening to the whatever album that's on, Ratitude or whatever it's called. I listen to that. I can't get my head visually into the place where Weezer and Lil Weezy were like, I've read about it, and it still doesn't make any sense. You can't have, here's the thing. I love Weezer, but dude, this stage in the career, they're not on Lil Wayne's level at all. Like he blows that track out of the water. Like it's crazy. You're just like, dude, what is happening right here? That's a good one, John. That's a deep pull. God, I had another one. Then a lot of lists I saw had Beatles and George Harrison, While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Eric Clapton, who plays guitar on that track. So, but enough of the Beatles. Enough of the Beatles on our list. That's why I say we didn't put McCartney on there. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that list. Let us know what missed the cut. I'm sure we'll hear from you, and that's what we like to do. So let us know what didn't make the cut. So there you go, John. We've come up to the end of the hour, which, my God, that went by so quick. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let us know what you think on social media, and you also need to let us know by going to our website, which is Blame Your Brother, which is at bybpod.com. That's bybpod.com. You can go there, check out all of the past episodes. If you want to do that, you can hit all of our social media links. They're up there. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. It's all there. Ways to grab the podcast. We have an Amazon link. So if you want to spend money on Amazon, just click on that link and do all your purchasing, and we get a kickback on it, which kind of helps us with the show.
We appreciate it. And Valentine's Day's coming up, so
there you go. If you're ordering stuff for your
boom,
honey,
boom.
use that money for us, man.
Show the love.
That's right.
See what I did there?
There we go. And then we got ways to email us. You can contact us via the website, bybpod.com. Go check that out. Tell all your friends about it. Rate, subscribe, review. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. We're looking forward to doing another one next week on Thursday, so come hang out with us. And, John, with all that being said, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Peace.